Hey, what's going on, guys? Kins here. Last video we ended up with generating coin pawn moves, and this time we're gonna be generating pawn capture moves. So let's have a look at the white pawn generation part within the source code. So here where we're picking up the piece and then looping over the white pawns within the white bitboard, and then this particular indentation. So here we have this generate white pawn moves. So if we just go further and just right before popping the least significant first bit from the piece bitboard, here we would go for generating our pawn captures. But before that, first we actually need to initialize pawn attacks bitboard. So we're gonna be taking our attacks bitboard serving this exact purpose, and it would be equal to, now I'm referencing the pawn attacks precalculated attack table, so indexed by the site. So in this case, obviously this would be white, and also specify the source square occupied by the current white pawn. So in our case, this is the source square variable, like this. And this, and then we need to bitwise end this this sort of an attack map with occupancies of the black pieces in order to make sure that white pawn would be capturing only in that would be making capture moves only in that case if it's a non-empty square, and only in the case if the square they're trying to capture is occupied by the black piece. So we need to bitwise end this with occupancies and indexed by black pieces, like this. And as far as we just did obtain the attack map for current given pawn located at the specific square on the white pawn bitboards, we can now already start generating our pawn capture moves. So I just want to say, like, yeah, generate pawn captures. And in order to do this, the very first thing to consider, we actually need to loop over the attacks that has been generated for us by the pre-calculated attack tables. Not generated, but that were obtained via lookup to the pre-calculated pawn attack table. So the very first thing to do is actually to initialize the target attack square, or just target square, like this, and I'll take my target square variable, and it would be equal to get least significant first bit index of this attacks bitboard. And obviously, in order to escape from this loop, we need to populate the least significant first bit every time, every iteration within this sort of a loop. So of the pawn attacks. So just need to say pop bit and attacks and indexed by the target square, like this. And now here, just like in case of quiet pawn moves, we'll have kind of the same sort of a structure. So we need to take care of captures combined with the promotions. So let's call this pawn promotion, pawn capture promotion. So just to distinguish this from the common promotion. So pawn capture promotion here. Okay. So just like we did with the for the quiet pawn moves, we need to make sure that the source square lies within the A7 and H7 squares, so literally on the 7th rank. Okay, and otherwise actually we want to we need to make sure that we just capturing some sort of a piece here. So it's not going to be a pawn push, it's going to be a pawn capture. Okay, so the target square we're printing here has been already initialized just right over in here. So the very last thing we need to do is actually try to check this. So let's go to our parse_fn function, and I just restore the position back to how the tricky position looks like. Actually, yeah, it's also going to be a good idea to compile and run the code by typing make debug, and if it compiles, just try to run the BBC binary executable here. Okay, so now we'll put the pawn back to b7 in order to make sure that all those captures would be seen actually. Okay, so they are not seen for some reason. I'm just wondering, what did I do wrong there? It doesn't even generate a normal pushes anymore. Okay. Oh, hold on a sec. Probably it just set to black. Yeah, that's the reason. I was already concerned like what's going wrong there. Okay, so we got our pawn promotions. Yeah, it was actually generating moves for black pieces. So we got our pawn promotions. So up to 4 moves here. Then we have pawn capture promotion, or promotion with a capture. That's probably better to call this pawn promotion capture. It doesn't really mean that much, but for me it matters really. So promotion capture. It's incredibly important being precise during the chess programming, chess engine development process. Okay, so pawn promotion capture, pawn push. Okay, and now we got also pawn captures, so we'll now examine them. And okay, so first the pawn promotion captures, we're just capturing this rook. Okay, and the pawn captures d5 takes e6, and g2 takes g3. So d5 takes e6, which is correct, and g2 takes on h3, which is correct as well. So you see, like, not capturing to say b3 because no attacks generated there, so only to make sure. So as far as we are bitwise ending our attacks with black piece occupancies, this makes sure that we're not going to be capturing onto the empty squares. So this is quite pretty important. We're going to be capturing only on those squares containing black pieces on them. So just to bear that in mind. And one little more thing before we'll copy this code to the black pawn section, we actually also need to take care of the enpassant square captures. So here we want to generate enpassant captures. So the very first thing to consider, we need to make sure that enpassant square is actually available. So we need to say if enpassant is not equal to no square, which is the constant to show that the enpassant square is kind of upward or just not available. And now we need to create so-called, well, I call them enpassant attacks. So that is simple actually. So let's say I just want to say u64 enpassant attacks here equals to, and now we need to look up the pawn attack tables again. So I'm making the same lookup, so decide to move, and for the first index and the second index served by the source square, and now we need to bitwise end this with 1 unsigned lon left shifted to the value of the enpassant square. So here we're just generating the bitboard here we're generating the bitboard containing the only bit being turned on where the representing the enpassant square, and in case if we bitwise end our enpassant attacks with this sort of a square, and that would be the only basically the only attacked square that would actually leave after this bitwise end operation. And in this case, in the case if we match the enpassant square in this sort of way, in this case we would actually be generating our enpassant attack. So I'm just thinking how better to come in this line. So let's say look up pawn attacks and bitwise end with enpassant bit, let's say enpassant square, and just to make sure that this is the bit. Okay, now if an enpassant square is actually available, we can generate the move appropriately. So let's say make sure enpassant capture available, and we can simply say if enpassant attacks. So there is a bit, oh I'm sorry, what have I done? So there is a bit available within this enpassant attacks, and in this case we can initialize enpassant square, enpassant capture target square, and we can simply say this would be, I just want to create a new square called enpassant target enpassant, or yeah, let's call this target enpassant, and this would be equal to get least significant first bit index from this enpassant attacks, and then we can print this move, and later on we would be adding this move. So here pawn enpassant capture, and also to make sure that it would be capturing to the target enpassant, not to the target square. So it's quite pretty important thing here. Okay, so let's actually now try to test this enpassant square as well. So at the moment we don't really have any enpassant captures because an enpassant square is actually equals to no square. So let's imagine that this pawn c7 is actually located here on c5. I just don't really want to waste your time, guys, to putting this to this square, and I just want to put, or okay, let's actually do this. So c7, so it's the second rank, and I can actually get rid of this one and of this one as well. So we just put our pawn away from c7 and try to put it on c5. So 2 and pawn like this. Okay, so now this is on c5, and now let's also set the square c6 to be an enpassant square. So if I just specify the c6 as the enpassant square, it now should generate enpassant capture. Yes, so we have this d5 c6, and we don't really need this knight here. So where is my enpassant capture? Okay. Yeah, I don't really. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I don't need this knight, obviously. So yeah, we got this. Yeah, we got this. d5 takes to c6, which is an enpassant capture. So the enpassant move has been, enpassant capture has been generated correctly, and now I will probably go for copying this code for the black pieces, and also we will alter the FN position appropriately, so test all this captures and peasant capture options as well. So now let me just try to grab this entire part here, copy, so everything that regards to pawn captures, initial attack bit boards, initialization, and generate captures. And now we need to go to pawn quiet moves, so here within the black pawns here, and let's see, so init pawn attacks, so we need to switch the occupancies, so now it would be white. So bitwise ended with the white occupancies instead of black ones. Site remains the same because here it would be automatically kind of black, not whites. And then generate pawn captures, so attacks the same, the loop is the same. We also need to change the rank for the promotion, so it would be second rank respectively, like this. Okay, and so all this stuff should be literally the same. And regarding the enpassant square, yeah, we don't provide any offsets, so it should be working just like this. Well, okay guys, so let's go and test it now instead of guessing. So I would like to grab this tricky position one more time and actually paste this in. And the only thing I want to change is actually to switch this to the black pieces and make this pawn black to test again like all possible black moves. So we got pawn captures g2 to h1, okay, pawn promotions g2 to g1, okay. And now let's have a look at the captures. So pawn push, double pawn push, pawn capture, e6 captures to d5. Okay, e6 captures to d5, which is correct. And b4 captures to c3, which is correct as well. Yeah, obviously these promotions are captures at the same time. Okay, and probably the very last thing, let's try to put this a2 pawn to a4 and make a3 to be the enpassant square. So let's drop this pawn, let's put this right over in here, okay, and now make a3 an enpassant and a square for an enpassant capture. Okay, and we got this move, so pawn enpassant capture, b4 now captures to a3 because the a3 has been set up as an enpassant square. Okay, so let me quickly have a look at the code one more time, and probably this would be it regarding this video. Well, okay, it seems like everything is fine here, so no colors specified within the commentaries, so yeah, just changed the rank. Okay, yeah, this should be it basically. Well, okay guys, so hopefully, yeah, this is it for this part, and in the next video we're gonna be generating castling moves for both white and black kings. So basically, hope to see you in the next video and get down with castling move generation, and starting from that point we'll finally go into the process of generating moves for all the rest of the pieces, and this would involve less code, and it won't be that ugly like this pawn moves and castling moves code that will add as well. So this would be smaller and more elegant, smaller and more elegant basically. Okay, so now this is now this is really it from my side. So hope to see you in the next video, guys. Until that, and take care.